Oi, fala aí pessoal, bom dia. Você está escutando o Inglês do Rádio. I am your host, Foster Hodge. This is your daily dose of English.
Hey, Alexia. How are you doing?
I'm fine. What about you, Foster?
I can't complain. It's a beautiful day. I'm inside recording podcasts, so I can't complain.
Here is a very good day as well. Not that sunny, not that cloudy. It's the perfect weather, so we can walk around the city without any trouble.
Yeah, so this is something I notice a lot, Alexia, is when you say it's a perfect weather, everyone will understand that totally, but it is kind of idiomatic. I think in English we would say the weather is very nice or the weather's good.
Okay.
Yeah, you could say it's a nice day outside, but a perfect weather sounds kind of strange to us.
Okay. So it's a perfect weather.
No, it's not a perfect weather.
It's not a perfect weather. Okay, it's a nice day outside.
Or the weather is nice.
The weather is nice today.
Great. Speaking of today, Alexia, what are we talking about today?
I don't know, Foster.
Trick question, because today is my time to be a nerd with all linguistic things. So, Alexia, I was just on the road, I was driving, and I was listening to a podcast called I Will Teach You a Language. Very cheesy name, but I Will Teach You a Language is this guy, Olly Richards, who's kind of one of the famous internet polyglots, like makes a lot of videos and stuff. And normally I don't really like a lot of those people, but he's pretty good. And he speaks 8 languages, I think, eight or 9, including Brazilian Portuguese. And his Portuguese is really, really good. And he's just like a quiet, weird kind of British dude.
Is it better than your Portuguese?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, he's really good. Normally, I don't admit that other gringos also speak good Portuguese sometimes, but yeah, Ollie's good. Anyway, so I was listening to his podcast, and he just did an episode about the rules of language learning. He's actually doing a series, I believe. But in this series, he is just giving like probably 10 tips, like 10 rules of things that you should do when you're learning any language. So I thought it'd be interesting if we could just talk about some of the things he says and see if that applies to us and if it applies to learning English and maybe can help our students. Sound good?
Of course. Yeah.
Cool. So let's do it, Alexia. So I will read a rule and I just want to hear your first initial reaction. All right?
All right.
Okay, so rule number 1, drum roll, please. Study at your desk. When he was talking about this, he says that when he's studying languages, he has a specific desk in his house that has nothing on it. So he can just have his language book or an audio or something and just sit at his desk and study. What do you think about this?
I think it's a good idea, but it doesn't have to be like a desk. I think you have to have a place that you know that you're going to be really concentrated and focus only on that.
Yeah. Do you think it needs to be the same place every time?
It doesn't work like this for me. I mean, I just need a place inside the place that I am, that I know that
A place inside of the place?
I just need a desk, a sofa, a chair, I don't know, inside of the house or at the place that I am when I'm studying, that I know that I'll be comfortable and focused.
Focused.
No, focused.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding. So you just need to have a nice
Sem
place. Engraçadinho. Eu sou muito engraçado, mama.
Super.
So you just need like a designated area, a place where you can be comfortable and focused. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So
I Alexia, I like to have a table. I like to write on my notebook. I like to
Mm,
have everything on it, but sometimes it's just an audio and I don't need a table.
gotcha. Gotcha. So, Alexia, can I make a quick recommendation really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so two things. We write in the notebook. Yeah.
Yes.
So we put things in a notebook. And also something that I notice a lot when correcting the worksheets that will be out next week. We hope, crossing our fingers.
Yay.
So much work. The word audio. A lot of times
Audio.
I hear you saying audio.
Yeah, because of audio, of course. So, audio.
Perfect, perfect. And there are a lot of examples where that AU combination kind of just goes together and makes the ah sound and not ow. So you're not
Yeah.
articulating each sound individually.
Yeah, então é só pensar no O com acento em português. Então, audio.
É, quase igual. Quase igual.
Sim.
Cool. So honestly, Alexia, I could not disagree with this more. The idea of studying at your desk. I really like the idea of kind of having a place where you know you can focus. But for me personally, Foster speaking, I love to be moving when I'm studying languages. Number one, I use a lot of audio, a lot of podcast, a lot of music, and I just don't want to like be sitting at my desk listening to a podcast staring at the wall. I think that's kind of weird. And personally, I think I learn better when I'm moving.
Yes, I think it depends. I mean, if I already know the language and I'm only getting better on it, okay. But if I'm starting, I really, really need to have a routine.
Yeah.
So maybe this will be important at the beginning.
Yeah. So if I was writing these rules, I think I would change sit at your desk to have a place where you can really focus and focus only on language learning. Like a place
Yes.
where you're not looking at Instagram and also trying to work and then kind of studying languages. You need a place where you're going there and you know that it's study time.
Yes, that's it. Perfect.
Cool. Okay, you want to hear rule number 2?
Yes, please.
Rule number 2, can we get a drum roll, please?
Prrr. Isso parece pombo. Prrr. Prrr.
Pombo! Obrigado. Obrigado, pombo. Rule number 2, don't learn grammar before you need it.
This you won't ask me. This you can talk a lot about it.
Let me explain what he was saying when he said, don't learn grammar before you need it. Essentially, he was saying that you should not start with grammar, no matter what. That you should start with speaking, pronunciation, and listening, which I agree with a lot. A lot. Good job, Ollie. Like he cares what I think about him.
Olly.
Ollie, please listen to our show. So he's saying that you don't need to learn grammar before you need it. So if you start with a new language and you're thinking, I'm going to learn some basic phrases, and in some of the phrases, maybe you will just have no idea what something means. And that's what he's really saying, is that if you see something in a language and it's not a lack of vocabulary, it's just the actual structure of a phrase, if you have no idea what that means, then you need to study and learn why that means what it means. So, for example, if I said, if I had $1 million, I would travel to Europe. And you're thinking, if I had, I would travel to Europe. I have no idea if that means like I do have $1 million or maybe in the future I'll have $1 million. If you really can't tell what someone's saying, then you need to study. Otherwise, just focus on speaking. Does that make sense?
Yes. It's the way that you like to teach. So
yeah. So what do you think about this?
I think it works because when I was learning English, French, and everything else, they used to bring grammar at the beginning of everything. And we had to learn a lot of rules and nothing would make sense at all. And when I started to really, really speak, like when I went to England and I had to talk to people that I didn't know, everything would start to make sense, but I wasn't thinking about the past tense, future tense, anything like this. It was all natural from my mouth.
Right. Exactly. All natural. So, so I completely agree with you. It's two things. First, I want to ask you this question because it's really difficult. I don't think most people could answer it. But if you think about what is grammar, grammar is really a retroactive effort just to explain why we speak the way we do, why we say the things we do. So grammar is just like a collection of arbitrary rules to try to make sense of all of the weird things we do when we're speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So words, speaking came first, grammar came hundreds of thousands of years later. Maybe. I don't know.
Isso é chute muito feio pra você fazer.
Não, isso foi o Plato que falou.
Quem é Platão.
Platão.
Foi o Plato.
A gente vai cortar isso.
Não, vamos não.
Sou eu que corto, amor. Okay, so one thing, grammar is really just a collection of rules trying to explain something. It's not the first thing that you need to know to make sense of the language. Secondly, what I really want my students to do is to develop a grammar intuition. Like if you think about in Portuguese, and if I say, se eu tivesse milhões de dólares, eu faria isso. E se eu te pergunto, por que vocês falam assim? Tipo, eu faria.
Eu sinceramente, eu não consigo responder.
Mas você sabe perfeitamente que é faria. E não é
Sim.
fizesse, alguma coisa assim.
Uhum.
Yes. So that is how most people learn their first language, is just by developing an intuition that something is correct, right?
Right.
Like if you talk to a little kid and you're like, hey, you has blonde hair. First, I think the kid will be like, sir, who are you? Mommy told me not to talk to strangers.
Yeah, exatamente. I don't talk to strangers. I don't know you. Please leave.
Okay, let's imagine you know the kid. There's nothing creepy happening. But if you're like, you has blonde hair, 5-year-old will automatically be like, don't you mean you have blonde hair? You know? They just know it's right because they've heard it a lot of times and they've internalized it and kind of developed this intuition about what is right, what is wrong. Yeah?
Yeah.
So on this point, 100% agree with Olly. Don't learn grammar before you need it.